You are listening to The Michael Lodge Show. Wealth, business, and taxes. Oh yeah, and some politics. Let's get started.
And welcome back. This is Michael Lodge. I'm glad that you're here with me. You know, one of the questions or topics that I have when I'm in my tax practice, and individuals that are driving for Uber and Lyft, you know, there's a whole bunch of questions on what's deductible, what's not deductible. But one of the things that we don't ever talk about is the insurance and understanding the insurance coverage while you're working for these gig type companies. And so we're going to talk about that today. And, you know, insurance is so confusing as it is. I mean, even when you're buying it for your own personal car, we're really not quite sure exactly, you know, what you're buying and what you're getting and what all it covers and everything, because everything is in little tiny itty bitty print that you're not quite sure what the ins and outs are. But let's talk about the insurance that Lyft and Uber provide for you and what it covers. Now, the biggest rideshare companies provide drivers with some company coverage. They all do it. So Uber and Lyft maintain auto insurance on your behalf, subject to certain limitations and deductible. And then, of course, the state requirements and regulations of the state that you're living in. Every state is different. When you're available or waiting for a ride request, as well as when you're carrying passengers or en route for pickup. But that free coverage that the company is providing you has limitations. For example, drivers need to maintain comprehensive and collision coverage for Uber's contingent insurance of those perils, and there's always perils, right? There's always risk to kick in. If applicable, the Uber insurance goes towards repairs and replacement of your car up to its actual cash value after a $1,000 deductible. So once again, let's talk about that again, is that they will cover for the repairs and the replacement of your car up to its actual value of that day. Value, and after a $1,000 deductible. So if your car is worth $25,000, they'll cover $24,000 because you got a $1,000 deductible, right? Injury protection, meanwhile, which provides benefits for medical expenses, disability, loss of life in dismemberment, is currently only available to Uber drivers for accidents that occur while you're online and waiting for a trip in California, or on the way to pick up, or on a trip originating in California. In many of the other states, Uber offers optional injury protection for a fee, so they're going to charge you for that fee. So remember that, okay? Lyft's coverage requires the driver to pay a $2,500 deductible before its contingent collision coverage kicks in. Lyft says it may also provide first-party coverages such as medical payments or personal injury protection, though availability and coverage limits vary by state. And you've got to decide whichever state you're in to see exactly what all that is covering. You got to ask Uber and Lyft exactly what's about the state that you live in and what it's going to cover. To be fully protected, rideshare drivers need their own insurance to meet ride-sharing company requirements and to cover them when they aren't on the company clock, as determined by the app that you're using to get your rides, or your jobs, I should say. And to fill any other coverage gaps. There may be gaps that you need to cover. This often means purchasing special insurance such as personal auto policies have exclusions that apply when carrying passengers for hire. Generally, they will specifically exclude coverage for any damage or injuries that you cause to others, damages to your vehicle, as well as any medical payments coverage for your own injuries. So that is one of the issues that you have. What are the gaps that are covering you when you're driving? Does the company insurance kick in, or does your personal but your personal insurance kick in? What exactly is it all covering? So you need to make sure that you understand what state that you're in, what the insurance requirements are, what your insurance will cover while you're performing your job, and what the Uber or Lyft organization is going to cover under their insurance. Now, you have to know all of the different terms and everything else. So while rideshare companies generally offer some type of commercial coverage, that's not always the case if you are delivering goods. So you might even be doing Uber Eats or something like that, or packages. But not all commercial delivery companies maintain a commercial auto policy to cover drivers while they are on the job. But even when limits and exceptions apply. So you have to know what that is. Like Instacart, for example, says in its shopper contract that it does not provide insurance to its drivers. Meanwhile, a few national delivery companies such as Amazon, Uber Eats, and DoorDash maintain commercial auto insurance on behalf of their drivers, but coverage can depend on the state. So you have to ask the company about the state that you're in and what the coverage is available. Also, you may need to make a claim on your personal policy first, and coverage limits and exceptions it may apply. Those exceptions may apply. Make sure you ask the company you're delivering for what, if anything, is offered by way of insurance, and what it covers, and what the state requirements are for you to cover and to carry passengers and anything else that you're going to be carrying. So it's good to know. It's good to know that when you are driving for these companies, you will want to understand, you must understand the requirements and what, if anything, they offer as supplemental insurance. For example, Friendlander, I guess it's called, says you should be covered while delivering food, but not covered driving to and from a restaurant where you're picking up the next order. So you need to discuss these details with your insurance professional to ensure you are fully protected. So understanding your insurance is also part of the tax issue of what are you claiming as an expense on your income tax. Remember, you are a 1099 employee, which means you're self-employed, which means you're going to file a Schedule C, which is for business or profession, which means you're going to have your income from your 1099 revenue that you get from Uber and Lyft and Let's Eat and whatever is out there, Amazon, whatever. And you also have the expenses that go against it. And one of those is going to be insurance expenses. One of them is going to be tires and maintenance and mileage. DMV fees, insurance costs, whatever app fees that you need to pay on a monthly basis to be a member of these groups. Whatever the expense is, it has to go along with the work that you're doing and the services that you're performing. You need to ask the question, especially on the insurance side, what are my costs going to be? Because you're going to be paying for that. Some way or another, you're going to be paying for it. So this is very important for you to understand. If you are an Uber driver or if you're a Lyft driver, you need to understand how you're going to report your income, how you're going to report your expenses, and those insurance costs are your expenses. Remember that. So that is my little lecture today to you Uber drivers, because I get a lot of Uber drivers into my office and Lyft drivers, and some are driving both. So when you are doing your work, you're running a business. Let's admit it, you're running a business, you're filing a Schedule C for business or profession, which means you're a self-employed person. You're going to be paying self-employed taxes, SE taxes, Social Security taxes, federal and state taxes for being self-employed. So you have got to maintain a good set of books on what you are paying out in doing your job, in doing your work. It's not a job, doing your work. And you're driving a lot of miles, so make sure that you're keeping track of those mileage logs. Because that is something that the IRS allows you to do, is take a mileage expense. So I hope that it kind of helps you out. I know a lot of people in the Uber and the Lyft business are just starting to think of themselves as business people. We look at AB5, who literally eliminated or tried to eliminate all of these gig-type jobs, these self-employment jobs. They were operating their little businesses as businesses. And they were doing it correctly until the state of California said, no, you can no longer be that. You have to be a W-2. Now, luckily the state of California had a ballot on the measure that helped out Lyft and Uber on self-employment type issues. And that's so very important. But all of you have got to think now, in all the other states, no matter what state you're in, you're a self-employed person, you had better start operating your business as a Lyft or Uber or Shopify or whatever organization you're working for on a 1099. You are a business. And you have to act like a business, operate like a business. If you have any questions, just send me a text at 818-252-5682. Again, that's 818-252-5682. Or you can send me an email at info at lodge, lodge-co.com. If you want to know what I do on my day job, which is at www.lodge, lodge-co.com, you can see what I do there. If you want to support my podcast, my blogs, and my vlogs, go to buymeacoffee.com/Michael Lodge and help with my podcasting expenses. That'd be great. I love it. For 3 years, I've been doing it myself, and then I decided that I needed to make this into a participatory podcast, if that's the way you want to say it. Listen, this is Mike Lodge. I'll be with you again tomorrow. If you want to talk about, or if you want me to cover a subject, send me a text at 818-252-5682. Tell me what subject you would like for me to talk about, and I'll be more than happy to do it. That's what I'm here for. This is an educational podcast on business, taxes, wealth, and everything else. Just let me know. I'll be more than happy to do it. This is Mike Lodge. Talk with you soon. Everybody go out and have a great day. Bye-bye. This podcast has been produced by Michael Lodge, fully focused on content. God bless. Have a great day. Bye-bye.